All right, we're going to get right into it right now. It's a Wilfork Wednesday. We got Vince Wilfork in the house with us tonight. It's the game plan brought to you by your New England Honda dealers. How's it going?
I'm good. Could be better.
Could be better because of that result on Monday?
Right. So, but hopefully we can shake that.
All right, well, let's talk about the quarterback situation. And the report is that Mac Jones is going to start on Sunday. Do you think that's the right move?
I think it's the right move. I mean, one thing I know about Bill, he's going to put the best player on the field to give us a chance to win. And if he says it's Mac, it's Mac. Right now you have two quarterbacks that's struggling. That's just what it is. And you have to figure out a way, how can you get through to the quarterbacks to get back on track? So if Mac is the guy, that's the guy. And it's good for the locker room to know, like, it's no guessing going into this week, or if he's starting or if he's starting, it's no guessing. So it kind of eases the locker room. They know what it is. Put the game plan in and execute.
So I did want to ask you about that. Then do you think that had an effect on Monday night with the game plan being what it was, where you did see both quarterbacks and maybe you didn't have an indication?
From what I've seen and knowing just a little bit how things work, sometimes you need a spark. When things not going well, you need a spark. And I think, I'm not talking for Bill or the organization, but as a player, I would look at it like, okay, we need a spark. We need some plays. Let's just mix some stuff up. If it's a quarterback, if it's a receiver, running back, or a defensive lineman, or anybody, let's see if this can give us a spark to get us going. And that's what I would take out of it as a player that played the game and watching. That's what I would take out of it. And I wouldn't think nothing else of it. And that's just what it is. So he got in, 2 touchdowns, and then second half kind of fell apart. But we struggled the whole game, and it wasn't just the quarterbacks, okay? I'm a big believer in up front, you have to be able to win. Offensive line, defensive line. We didn't do that. It wasn't good enough. So I'm not for to sit here and blame just quarterbacks, because we all can do something to help our quarterback out, and we didn't do it. Defensively, we had 1 turnover. We needed more plays. Guys wasn't winning one-on-one to get the offense the ball back. And offensively, we just didn't move the ball and ran the ball like we normally done. So it's time to regroup and stop pointing the fingers.
So, and I know you were there on Monday.
Yeah.
As you're watching that unfold, based on what we saw the previous couple of weeks, the way they played against the Lions, the way they played against the Browns, even against the Packers when they showed some fight, were you surprised by what you saw on Monday? Because defensively, I don't think many of us or any of us really saw that coming.
Very surprised. And sometimes you can throw a game like this. I remember playing Cleveland, but going to Cleveland, playing Cleveland. And we was a pretty good football team, and they beat the crap out of us. They ran for almost 200 yards with Hillis. And we just had one of those games. Nothing we did was right. We couldn't make any plays, and we took it on the chin. But we bounced back the next game. We bounced back. So you have some games like this, and I don't know if it's a clunker or not. I hope it's just one of those clunkers and we get back on track this week, but only time will tell right now.
So as you look at it and also being there, were you surprised by the reaction from the fans? Because it seemed like, going into that game, especially when Mac Jones was coming out after that interception, were you surprised by what you saw there?
Man, we New England fans are better than that. I mean, I understand we want to win, and guys kind of forget quickly, what he's done for us up to this point. Last year, the season he had. So we kind of forget. So I was very surprised of the boos, because at the end of the day, he turned the ball over once. Zappe come in and he gives us 2 touchdowns, and then all of a sudden, 2 turnovers. He second half, he laid it down.
Yeah.
And now you have 2 interceptions there as well. So you have to be able to be patient. This is all about, from a player standpoint, this season is it's not like any other season. You have to find ways to win. You're going to have to grind it out. You don't want to be questioned, are you tough enough?
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to come down to. If they can't grind these games out and win games 17-14, 10-6, if that's what it calls for, you have to be able to grind it out. We don't know if they can do that yet.
And toughness was something, and I think Phil Perry is the one who asked Bill Belichick about it today. He talked about Mac Jones' toughness.
Yeah.
And I also think that, it's a report coming from Field Yates, so you think that, okay, this has got to be pretty solid here. He seems like he's pretty plugged in. that Mac Jones getting the start and having that come out on Wednesday, just 2 days after the game, this has got to help his confidence going forward in what is a very important game against the Jets.
I think it is because, like I said, you put everything to bed once you come out and say, hey, this is our starter, this is what we're doing, you know. And we don't know the conversation that Bill had with Mac and Zappe. He might have said, hey, I'm putting them in to see if we can get a spark, something going. You don't know. So for Bill to come out this soon and say, hey, this is the route we're going, that shows me he tried to mix something up to just kind of give a spark and let Mac know, like, hey, you still the starter, but we trying to find ways. And we pay attention to the quarterback situation because, you know, quarterbacks are the quarterbacks. When you're doing good, it's all because of them. When we're doing bad, it's because of them. So it is what it is. But Bill has done that with different players on the offensive side and the defensive side of the ball throughout the time I've known Bill, since I played for him. So he mix and match and he do something, but it's not as much broadcast when it's just another position besides a key position like quarterback.
Well, and it's also different because, you know, for 20 years you knew who it was going to be, and there wasn't really any question there.
It's growing pains.
That's right. You know, the Patriots are playing like everybody else in the NFL right now. Real quick on the Jets, they are not the old Jets. You know, they're coming out here. They're 5-2.
Yeah. The Jets is a tough football team. I mean, they play hard, they run the ball well, they make plays. You know, the defensive front their defense is pretty solid. They're gonna. You can't go in there and expect to see the old Jets. It's not going to happen. If you go in there with that mindset, you would get smoked out of here once again because they're not the same. You know, they are rolling over there. They are playing good football. They're being very competitive. So we're going to have to go and challenge them and bounce back, coming off a loss, bounce back. How good can we bounce back? We'll see.
All right. Ready for the blitz?
Let's get it.
Let's get into the blitz. All right. Let's start with, since you've been retired, would you rather watch games at home or in person?
No, at home.
At home, especially on Monday night when you get to the third, fourth quarter of that game, you're like, man, I'd really like to be at home.
At home, absolutely.
All right. Bailey Zappe was singing along to Stacey's Mom. Was there ever a song that would come on in stadiums where it'd be like, no matter what, you'd have to stop and start singing?
Absolutely. Phil Collins. Air tonight.
In the air tonight?
In the air tonight.
When it gets to the drum part, you going after that too?
Everything from the start to finish.
All right. How about your best moment or your most fond moment against the Jets? I mean, a lot of people are going to remember the butt fumble, but is that it?
No. I mean, I actually had another play in Gillette Stadium. They were backed up, and as a 3 technique, I blew the guard up, and then it's safety. I mean, couldn't get the hand off, and it was a safety. So that was another great moment against with Jets.
But that was, that wasn't Mark Sanchez running into his offensive lineman.
No, it wasn't he.
Right. How about most surprising person or situation where someone asked you for an autograph?
Ooh, I really can't remember all of those, but the most surprising moment for me was being in the Bahamas. I grew up a Buffalo Bills fan, and I come out of a restaurant, and I hear somebody yelling my name. I thought it was a regular fan. I turned around, and it seems like a guy looked like he was Thurman Thomas. I'm like, that can't be Thurman. And as he got closer and closer and closer, it was Thurman Thomas. So I met a childhood hero, Thurman Thomas being a Buffalo Bills fan. So it wasn't an autograph. It was more like recognizing who I am, and it should have been the other way around.
Okay, we got bonus blitz questions because it's Halloween weekend.
Let's get it.
Best costume that you ever wore?
I'm not a costume guy, but
so you're not dressing up this weekend?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But Fred Flintstone, I was before.
Okay. Do you have the whole impression and the yabba dabba doing everything?
I didn't have all of that.
Okay.
I just had a costume.
How about the best thing that you gave out to trick-or-treaters?
I give out real candy, like real Reese's Pieces, real Kit Kats, Snickers. I don't have them little corn things.
Candy corn?
It's the real deal.
Candy corn's no
good,
right?
I'm the real deal, Holyfield.
Well, I was actually wondering if you were giving out barbecue too. Like that'd be a good look. Like you have like a 4-year-old who kind of comes up to the door in like a lion costume and he's walking away with a rib.
The kids like candy, so I got to stick to the candy. So.
But you got to remember the parents that are taking them trick-or-treating,
Well, I can give parents the beer, so they're okay.
Oh, that's a good house to go to then.
Absolutely.
All right, Vince, appreciate it, man. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.